The United Auto Workers just pulled off one of the most successful strikes in history. In a carefully coordinated campaign that targeted the most profitable factories at General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis simultaneously, the union won historic wage increases coupled with strong gains in job security and benefits. Emboldened by its success, the United Auto Workers now seeks to add workers at Toyota, Volkswagen, Honda, Kia, Mercedes, BMW, Volvo, Subaru, Mazda, Lucid, Rivian, especially Tesla. In a press statement, the United Auto Workers said on November 29, 2023 that auto workers at more than a dozen non-union automakers have announced simultaneous campaigns across the country to join the United Auto Workers. Thousands of non-union auto workers are signing cards at the new UAW webpage and are publicly organizing to join the UAW. The organizing drive will cover nearly 150,000 auto workers across at least 13 automakers. One of the strongest UAW campaigns is at Toyota's Georgetown, Kentucky Assembly Complex, where 7,800 workers make the company's iconic Camry and highly profitable recreational active vehicle with four-wheel drive and Lexus ES. Toyota announced it was raising pay just after UAW members won record contracts at the Big Three. But Jeff Allen, a 29-year team member at Georgetown who's had 2 work-related surgeries, says the raise won't dissuade workers from organizing. "We've lost so much since I started here, and the raise won't make up for that," he said. "It won't make up for the health benefits we've lost. It won't make up for the wear and tear on our bodies. We still build a quality vehicle." People take pride in that, but morale is at an all-time low. They can give you a raise today and jack up your health benefits tomorrow. A union contract is the only way to win what's fair. Many of the non-union automakers use a mix of full-time, temporary, and contract employees to divide the workforce and depress wages. At Hyundai's assembly plant in Montgomery, Kissy Cox worked for 8 years in the paint shop as an employee of Glovis, a contractor that operates inside the plant. Cox made $9.25 an hour when she started at Glovis in 2014. She didn't become a full-time Hyundai employee until July 2022. Fearing a surge of enthusiasm for organizing following the United Auto Workers' historic victories at the Big Three, many non-union automakers have attempted to lower auto workers' expectations by raising pay and shortening wage progressions. Still, non-union auto workers lag far behind UAW auto workers in wages, benefits, and rights on the job. The unprecedented effort to publicly organize the entire non-union auto sector at once marks a departure with past organizing efforts. The new aggressive strategy is reflective of a new era of working-class leverage and workplace organizing, the union says. The United Auto Workers says if 30% of workers at a non-union plant sign cards seeking to join, it would make that fact public. If 50% of workers seek to join, the United Auto Workers will hold a rally with fame to tout the effort. At 70% and with an organizing committee in place, the UAW would seek recognition or demand a union representation vote. The UAW is seeking to reverse a long decline in union membership that began in the 1950s when textile and shoe manufacturers began fleeing New England to take advantage of anti-union policies in southern states. That effort was so successful, it sowed the seeds for NAFTA and what H. Ross Perot called the grape-sucking sound caused by jobs leaving the U.S. and flowing to Mexico. Perot was right, but then globalization kicked in and manufacturers began to flee Mexico for places where people were willing to work for the least amount of money. For what the locals got out of it, see Naomi Klein's brilliant no logo for a detailed description of what life was like for those low-wage workers. Instead of being lifted out of poverty, they became wage slaves in a brutal economic system that chewed up workers and spit them out if they couldn't perform their assigned tasks. COVID shattered the globalization illusion. Now the United Auto Workers seeks to reinvigorate the American dream of a fair day's pay for a fair day's work. Consistent reports of half the world's wealth being owned by a handful of mega-billionaires rankles a lot of people who now want their piece of the pie. The United Auto Workers says it can make that happen. The recent auto strike was remarkably free of violence and charges of unfair labor practices, but organizing non-union operations could be entirely different. Many of the states where those factories are located are aggressively anti-union. Strikers and organizers can expect constant harassment from local and state authorities, as well as lots of pushback from local residents who have been brought up to loathe unions. The effort to organize the entire non-union auto sector at once is unprecedented and reflects a new era of working-class leverage and workplace organizing, the United Auto Workers says in a press release. The UAW's ambitious organizing drive sets up a potentially massive confrontation between the union and the non-union companies, who are certain to enlist anti-union consultants and law firms that specialize in keeping organized labor at bay. Employees in non-union automotive firms and in other industries may see this and think they want this too. However, the labor law context in the U.S. still makes it very challenging to form new unions here. The organizing drive that auto workers face the same issues whether they work for the Detroit Three, German automakers Volkswagen, Mercedes, and BMW, which face strong unions in their home country but have no labor contract in the U.S. Asian companies such as Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Hyundai, Subaru, and Kia. Or in the emerging taxpayer-supported electric vehicle sector with companies such as Tesla, Rivian, and Lucid. Workers across the country, from the West to the Midwest and especially in the South, are reaching out to join the movement and to join the United Auto Workers. And then there is Elon Musk, who is virulently anti-union and went on a foul-mouthed public tirade against advertisers who have deserted his personal fiefdom, the Company X. We can expect more bad behavior from Elon as the United Auto Workers ramps up its organizing campaign. Buckle up, grab your popcorn, and get ready for the cage match of the century. There is a dark side to all this, however. Ultimately, American consumers will have to decide whether they are willing to pay higher prices for domestically produced products. It costs about half as much to manufacture a car in China as it does in the US. Right now, Chinese cars have captured about 20% of the new car market in Mexico. Tesla can sell cars imported from China in Canada for less than the cars it manufactures in Fremont. And yet, why must workers have to sacrifice their bodies so corporate executives can make millions? How is that fair and equitable? The tug of war between labor and management is as old as history itself. The United Auto Workers senses a chance to rebalance things in the workers' favor. We'll see how that goes here in the next few months. Thank you for joining us on this electrifying journey. Don't forget to subscribe to Highway Heavens for more exciting updates on the automotive world and hit that notification bell to stay tuned for our next adventure. Until then, keep your engines running and your curiosity alive.